The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. Chicago. Ask someone to picture the city, and they will have trouble coming up with a concise description. When people think of New York City, they think of skyscrapers, subways, and muggers. When they think of Los Angeles, they think of sun, smog, and traffic. When they think of Detroit, they think of cars, factories, and decay. But for those of us that know, there's only one thing we think of when someone mentions Chicago: vampires. And tonight, we tell their story. Fuck it. We're doing this live, everybody.
And that's what y'all get to welcome to. Fuck it.
We're going to do it live. That's right. Fuck it. We're doing it live. Hopefully the audio is not fucked up, because you never know with me. When we do this live, sometimes I fuck up the audio. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Windy City After Dark live cast Q&A. Normally I'm the storyteller. Tonight I'm just Shanky. And fuck it, we're doing it live.
Yeah, we are. I am Mama McStabber, and I play Jacqueline Duran of Clan Ventru in Windy City After Dark, and I will be the moderator of this live Q&A, so please use your channel points to highlight your questions so it's easier for me to pause chat and see them. Thank you.
Hello, because I said I'd do it in Zoom last night. Good evening. I am Ivy Raven, and I play Genevieve Schutz of Clan Gangrel. It is a wonderful day for a Q&A.
And I'm dead right off the start.
Wait a minute. The viewers have to get the reference to that.
That's a Bane.
I was threatening to I did record once a Windy City intro with Bane's voice, and I was threatening to do it for the Dark Ages because of the shade. That's all. So on you, you're Uwu?
Oh, God.
You're innie, not your outie.
I'm Urin, and I normally play Roscoe Acres.
I am Timber Brad 411, play Nicholas Bowens of Clan Hekata, and I'm barely awake in here, so let's do this.
You know, normally...
Fuck it, live.
Normally we're very serious as we're doing Windy City. It's, you know, we try to stay in character, we try to role play everything, but when we get to these cast Q&As, this is where it really gets fun because, as you could tell, the seriousness is right out the motherfucking window. It's part of the fun of it, actually. It's a good break.
Raven's the Bane at home.
Yeah. I want some Bane, but we have Bane at home. Bane at home.
God damn.
Hey, look, he had to use a cup. I just need to use my hand.
That's right. You saying he got tiny hands?
Cups are expensive. You know, that's the beauty of a live cast Q&A is we get to relax a little. You get to see actually, let's be fair. This is what you normally see behind the scenes
Mhm.
up until we start the recording and the game starts. This is the tomfoolery that goes on.
All the shenanigans.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
there's lots of advantages to being on a Discord and being a cast member on various shows because the shenanigans always continue behind the scenes.
Mhm.
Always.
Even during while we're recording it, the Zoom chat's full of
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yes. In the immortal words of
And we have all learned not to pay attention to Zoom chat when we are in
Right.
scene because otherwise we will get totally derailed from being in character.
in the immortal words of Lamar Cade, never going to give you up, never going to let you down. Because he rickrolled us in Zoom chat.
Rickrolled us.
People were dying in scene trying not to break. Okay, I'll let Mama introduce the Q&A format.
All right. So as you know, this is your opportunity to have a conversation with us, to ask us questions about season 9, about our characters, about Shanky's twisty plot lines, and what we think may be coming in season 10. So make sure you use your channel points to highlight your questions, and we'll be happy to answer them. But while we're waiting on some viewer questions, does anyone here at the table have any questions?
Trying to think of some that I might have here.
I put you on the spot.
Yeah, she puts us on the spot. I mean, I've got some questions as we're going through. What'd y'all think of the Tyrus, the Duncan McTavish fight?
Fuck him.
I mean, it was good we got him in the end, but there were some surprises, like all the landmines everywhere.
I wish I
I-
could say I was surprised.
I liked the little addition that was just like Nitro's just gonna hate Nicholas. And it's like, great, that's what I need now.
Hey,
More
at least she's
people
not
who
an
want Nicholas
Archon.
dead.
Is she, wait a minute. You say at least she's not an Archon. Does that make her more likely or less likely to give a shit about beating his ass?
I don't think either one really registered whether or not she was going to beat his ass.
Being an Archon just meant she could get away with it easier.
Right. So I don't think it really, that flavors it at all. I think she's going to try to beat his ass anyway. But you know. I will say the thing that caught me, and I knew to expect it, but it still caught me, was Tyrus falling. Very much in the moment, in character, Jackie truly believed he wouldn't show, and that was her hope. But, you know, hope is a dangerous fucking thing. And so when he did and he got, I mean, it was just, it actually, as a player, it hit me for that SPC to fall. It really did. That was just sad.
Yeah, those prophecies they're a thing.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing about it, it was all because of Izzy.
Yeah.
It really was because Izzy got pissed when Isabella got hurt.
I mean,
Had Nicholas not been there, would Tyrus have survived? Or sorry, had Izzy not been there, had he taken the necklace prior, would Tyrus have survived?
I just want to say that maybe if Isabella didn't go getting hurt, this wouldn't have happened. We're just throwing around blame willy-nilly.
Still listening. Jenny's got thoughts on it?
Jenny's like, I didn't care.
I didn't really care that Tyrus died personally. I thought the fight was pretty bland because once the landmine started going off, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing shit.
But you did
and
do
then,
shit.
What?
You did do damn. You the one who helped maul down the one that wasn't Duncan.
The dude who got hit by like the 3 claymores in the middle. Yeah, woo, buddy. because I dodged well, so I didn't get blown up too. No, I didn't. That's fine. It sounds really harsh, but Tyrus was a know nothing to Genevieve. Just because he's a gangrel doesn't mean
That makes sense.
Doesn't mean he has value to her. Sure, Archon's power, blah blah blah, but the problem is that every gangrel has to. Genevieve is very much like every gangrel has to be doing what's right for them, and for her, giving a shit about the wolf pack doesn't do anything. It's the same thing like giving a shit that the Prince of Milwaukee is currently a gangrel. That doesn't do anything for her. It actually hurts her that he's a gangrel.
Yeah.
Because whenever a gangrel does something wrong that is associated with the tower, all gangrel get like that, that weight put on them. And so for her, the fight, having Tyrus fall there was more of a negative than a positive, or even and not a negative in the like, oh no, we lost an Archon. It was more of a negative in that like, this is a tool that anti-gangrel individuals inside the tower can use against the clan. So
there is that
right.
too.
I know mine was more of a political answer,
but no,
like,
that's an answer.
That's a legit view, though.
The character had no interactions with Tyrus. She had no interactions with the wolf pack. So she knew of them via the murmurings and Elysia and things like that, but like that's all they were to her. So
that's completely valid. I like that one, actually. It's a good answer.
Yeah. Okay, Eben Blade asks, any news on whether Lamar will be in the next season? I can answer that for you. Lamar will not be in the next season, but we do have confirmation that Lamar will make an appearance in the series finale whenever that may come.
We have already confirmed he will be appearing in the Chronicle finale. If he's not back sooner than that, he will be in the Chronicle finale.
So as of right now, that is the only confirmed appearance we know of Lamar. He'll be back for the last session of the Chronicle.
Yeah. We've already reached out to him on that.
All right. Devilish Darkness asks, will my boy Twitch be around next season, or will he be able to will he be there to tell us from the Dark Ages?
The problem, there's a couple of reasons. You haven't seen your boy Twitch lately. There's a lot of, I know it seems like a very easy thing for the 30, 40-second Twitch videos, but there's a lot of effort that goes into me having to do that. It's not quite as easy as just filming it, because that particular videos, your boy Twitch is a multi-layer special effects setup. It is filmed right here with the same lighting you see here. So when you see him at night, when you see him in all these things, that's all effects work that I've been doing for the post-production to make the your boy Twitch right. It's a lot of work. Will he appear next season? I don't know. It depends on the workload I have on my shoulders and the bandwidth to do it. When it comes to Dark Ages, we've got a problem with Dark Ages. He was not embraced until like the 1300s.
Right. So he ain't even around yet.
He can't be there in the beginning of the Dark Ages because he's not kindred yet. You may see him as we get close to the years that he was alive. You may see him pre-embrace. And then as we pass the years of his embrace, you may get glimpses as to his trajectory of Malkavian derangements, where you'll see him at first where, he's not that bad. But over time, he settled into the Twitch now. So if we get to have him in Dark Ages, he won't be the Twitch you all know right now. Not until it gets close to Modern Nights. But it's a lot of work to do your boy Twitch. Sorry to tell you this. It really is. That 30 seconds on average.
There's a lot that happens behind the scenes, y'all, for real.
Yeah, for a 30 to 45 second Twitch thing was normally about a 2-hour build time and encoding time for just 30 to 45 seconds. That's a lot of damn time spent for such a short bit.
Okay. Evan Blade also asks, any regrets for season 9?
I regret I haven't killed off Nicholas. Sorry, killed Timber Brad's characters.
My answer is short and sweet. Nope.
Does Roscoe have any?
Not yet.
And Jenny? Oh, please go ahead. I thought you were finished.
I was just say, he may, after he figures out how to come to an ending with Samantha. but at the moment, not yet.
How about Jenny?
Sort of. It's not necessarily regret. It's mostly just the like Jenny has seen other people in her life pre and post embrace on that like slope that Isabella is on,
Mm-hmm.
and not not forcing her way onto the slope and like pulling Isabella up off of it at like Erzules in I think episode 8
Mm-hmm.
is kind of a semi regret, but it's not like one that's going to wear on her because she still believes that like she's an adult, she's been kindred longer than her, she can make her own choices, even if that is probably not the right way of looking at it. So
That makes sense. I regret Jackie didn't kill Andre the first time she laid eyes on him.
I was gonna say my other regret was not jumping that that European Nos.
Yeah.
Been like,
Which one?
been like,
regret.
yeah.
Francis or Andre? Because we had two of them.
Andre.
The one who came to the club, and we should have been like close the door and be like, hey bro, and then we all just like
Yeah.
just
Yeah. I regret that Jackie was civil.
I mean, I'm not going to argue it. Honestly, regret wise, all jokes aside, you know, because there's some jokes. I always look back at things how I've run it, and you know, there's things I wish I could have done a little better. Wish I could have tweaked a little different. There's always bits and pieces like that. I think I should have done more damage in the Duncan fight. Amelia should have had more traps set up. A lot of that is just, you know, so hard to balance one kindred versus 4 or 5. Especially under V5, you don't have the power difference that you had in the older edition. So it's near impossible to have a single kindred actually be a threat to a unified coterie. It's just very difficult. So I wish I'd balanced that a little bit better, because in some ways the Duncan fight, I mean, Tyrus got killed, but overall you were never really, even with the landmines, you weren't in that much danger.
Roscoe was.
Roscoe was, but that's because Roscoe always almost gets killed. You know, the Amelia DiCarlo fight, bear form is tough to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, one kindred she could manhandle one person, but she can't manhandle, even with all the tricks La Sombra can't manhandle that many people. So for mainly, it's me, some of those balancing things that are tough to deal with. That's my only real regrets.
Well, I'm honestly glad it didn't take any longer than it did.
Well, there's ways to make it not take longer, but to still make it a little more dangerous. But these characters have hit the point where, I mean, you're talking anywhere between 200 and 300 experience on these characters now.
Mm-hmm.
Through all these seasons. It has gotten very difficult to give them a legitimate threat that's not absurd. You know, sure, I could have them bum rushed by 30 guys with machine guns. That might be a legitimate threat, but that gets a little absurd, doesn't it?
Yeah. All right. TiVo asks, whether you've done it or not, is Diablerie a line that your characters don't like to cross, or an opportunity too good to pass up? I'll go last on this.
That's not something Roscoe would do. Actually, it's not really his character, and to him, it's the end stage is too risky.
How much is that? Hang on. How much is that as the curse of Steve Perry on your dice?
Well, that figures in pretty heavily.
There's a risk involved. Seriously. Go ahead, Nicholas.
I would say for Nicholas, time will tell. But I think it only ever really, I think there are like a few very select circumstances where Nicholas would seek out to do it, like with Amelia because of what happened with his sister. yeah, whether or not, he would do it again like Alessandro or Zal, or, if any of those situations came up, who knows? Um, but yeah, for the one time Nicholas has done it, it was more out of getting even revenge for his sister than it was anything else. So he was fine to cross it.
It wasn't ever high priority or something Genevieve was thinking about doing. But then after hearing about the real danger of doing it and going after someone who's either potentially too strong or just being not strong enough yourself, Ginny's basically written Diablerie off at this point. Unless it was just like the most insane whatever situation. She's on death's door, they're on death's door, and she's like, fuck it, this is my only option, because if they recover, I'm dead, kind of thing. Maybe, but I don't think she'd risk it. So no.
Well, for Jackie, she's not like going to go have herself a smorgasbord all over the fucking city, okay? You got to have some propriety with this stuff. But it is her belief that if it presents itself and the individual that could potentially be diablerized is powerful, not necessarily like Methuselah or something, but generally has some power to them, you can't let that go to waste. And that falls in line with her beliefs that tie into her cult.
Yeah, Cult of Mithras. Yep.
Yeah, basically, she saw most of Loden's line generally as wasting of power. Kevin has potential. Hell, even Ballard has some potential. Jury's still out on fucking Sovereign. But yeah, Loden himself, waste of fucking power. Capone, a waste of fucking power. And so, yeah, she was of a mind that when it came time to do Capone, that, yeah, she wasn't going to blink. She was going to do it.
No chance of him coming back. World of Darkness is notorious for NPCs and canon characters that are destroyed and then appear back later. Diablerie is the one way you can almost guarantee they're not fucking coming back. If they don't take your body, they're gone.
Yep.
You know for a fact they're gone. You may
hear them in your head for a few years, but then that goes away too.
Yeah, you'll know they're gone. That's one thing. When they drank down Capone, there was no question he's not coming back.
They put, there's an end to that story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, Ebonblade asks, what are you looking forward to most in the next season?
I was gonna say I can go first on that.
Sure.
I'm excited to see and role play through and experience all of the tension between Nicholas and Isabella. I think that'll be a lot of fun. For people who don't know, like a lot of the Nicholas Isabella, like general big story plot ideas, Red and I talk about like behind the scenes. So we've like things that happen that are very antagonistic towards each other, is definitely like talked about ahead of time. And there's a lot of little like detail things here and there that happen in the moment based on like die rolls or whatever. But overall, but specifically in terms of, going forward later on in their relationship with each other, I've actually already been warned by Red that she's going to keep some of the stuff to herself, and just to like get the reaction in the moment to it. So I'm looking forward to that, just to see what sort of evil shit she's got in her head, because that'll be fun. But aside from that, I mean, it's like I want to see what Shanky's gonna do, because I'm sure he's got a lot of fucking ways he's gonna try to kill me in the middle of my sleep. So, bring it.
Tried that with you. Now I'm going to try to kill you while you awake. I'm going last on this one.
Okay.
I want to hear everybody else.
Well, I'm looking forward to what the storyteller is going to do to me to replace Benway as my contact for questionable artifacts of all sorts. Because, that was just too much fun. Him giving us stuff that, it make people want to eat flesh, little things like that. And that was too much fun to let go of. So I'm sure it's going to get replaced somehow. That and finishing up the storyline with Samantha.
Oh, I would not doubt if Shanky has someone come to Roscoe and be like, oh, you're the new person to distribute this shit.
Benway was in contact with somebody who may very well know he didn't set that fire.
Yeah.
Roscoe, purveyor of cursed items.
He gets all the spirit touch experience he could possibly want.
But that actually brings up a very important question, though. If the cursed objects are coming from inside the shop, does that then protect his shop from burning? Or does that mean that it's going to burn more?
I can't tell the answer to that. That's a secret.
Mm-hmm.
What does Jenny look forward to next season?
Shoot, I have no idea. Probably dancing with Roscoe some more, and no, I think season 10 probably sees the wrap up of the Mistress Desaad story, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Only because it's a single player story. It's good. It's a good story. It's something I'm interested in doing and dealing with, because it's not like the Duncan story that required like everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be something that Jenny's going to be able to deal with on her own. At least that's the way I'm looking at it, and I'm sure people will say that's a poor way of looking at it, but everyone else gets a lot of stories that they get to do like kind of on their own ish, and then maybe they have something they need everybody. But like a lot of Jenny stories have always been very like, hey everybody, I need your help for this. So I kind of want to treat that story as being something that is like more of a Jenny oriented story, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So yeah, it's probably my one story element that I'm probably looking at. I don't know. My problem is I don't know what all is going on, since I'm very like just go with the flow. So it's hard for me to say what I'm looking forward to other than that, I guess. But yeah.
For season 10, I am looking forward to exploring more with Jackie the whole Antoine, Andre, Francis situation. We kind of introduced those over the past season or so. And so now it's going to be more of a story for her to pursue. Also might be getting a little glimpse into how things are going in Milwaukee, setting up for her to declare Praxis by the end of the season, I think. She's not declaring Praxis end of season, but get some info on how that's going, I think.
Yeah, I'll be fair. I don't plan a lot ahead of time. I really don't. At least not. I normally don't even know where we're going with the season finale until partway through a season, because I'm a freeform storyteller. I don't plan out whole sessions. There are a few things coming up I'm really interested in dealing with. One of them is, of course, Jenny with her sister. That's going to be very interesting. It's a reunion of sorts, but neither one of them are the people they once were. Kindred changes you in a lot of ways. Jackie, the Andre stuff is definitely going to be rearing its head a little more.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of Francis popping in, of course. Nicholas, you should, I do look forward to your Isabella and your attention. You should be more worried about Izzy.
Yeah.
She was not happy with what you did. But that's that. And Roscoe, the Samantha thing is going to be coming to a head soon. In a bad way. Because, it's not a healthy relationship, not on her part.
Well, she is my stalker.
Right.
So.
She was your stalker, and it's not a healthy relationship. And while she's not as unstable as she was now that you've gotten the influence of Tammy and Allison off her, she's not a stable individual. And all it'll take is 1-2 high-profile masquerade breaches near you. And the powers in the city will put you with a choice that you may not like. So be ready. That's coming. It's, Roscoe he's naive in a lot of ways. He's still a romantic at heart somehow. And you're a kindred though, and there's tough choices. There's some very tough choices to come. And as for the Isabella, who's not here, I do look forward to the ramifications of embracing Evan. Because though she's
Not
allowed
Evan,
to, sorry, Emilio, she's allowed to embrace Emilio. That doesn't mean there's not ramifications for embracing your ghoul. He's not the same person he was. He's been a ghoul a long time, but now he's kindred. A whole nother subject then. So that's going to be an interesting story to explore, along with everything else. We got a lot of stuff going on, it seems.
And I can't wait to see the drama between Isabella and Nicholas. That's just delicious. I'm going to need some popcorn.
Well, also, Emilio is a fresh Toreador.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
His obsession with Isabella will rear its ugly head. No good deed goes unpunished.
That's right. All right. So Eben Blade also asks, is season 10 going to be the final season, or is it a matter of seeing how it goes? Okay, I will tell you, we've discussed this behind the scenes. Season 10 is not going to be the final season as far as we know. Definitely, we are looking at possibly 12 seasons of Windy City based on story trajectories to get some stories wrapped up. Not all story threads are going to be wrapped, but the big plot points will be.
So we're looking, we got season 10, 11, and 12. That's tentative. It could be adjusted based on. It's going
to be adjusted based on pacing and what we do and what we accomplish season by season. Because but give or take, we're expecting about 12 seasons. But
don't fear, after it's ended. We've got our Dark Ages plan, but there'll also be another Modern Knights V5 Chronicle that'll be coming up. That
because Rylin we always have Vampire Sundays. Yeah,
Rylin and I have talked about, and I've talked with some people on the Zoom chats and the Discord about some ideas for how a setting for this new one to come up. So when this does end, there'll be a break for a little while where we don't have a Modern Knights Vampire because we'll have to go through a casting process, an audition process, and a lot of back-end work to set up a Chronicle, but there'll be more Vampire even when this ends. New story, new people, new city, but we'll still do it. So,
and it will not be Milwaukee by Night. I am not going to play a queen.
I will give the hint. Right now I'm leaning towards Kansas City by Night because of the unique aspects of the city that straddles two states, which adds a whole nother complication to what you're doing, because which state are you doing it in?
Devilish Darkness asks, will Nicholas get better at using guns?
Look, he'll certainly try and he'll certainly fail. So, I mean, technically, I am better at guns or Nicholas is better at guns than he's ever been, but he's still god fucking awful.
Yeah.
It just honestly, it'll come down to what the dice do. I'll probably try and put more in into it as the seasons go on, but
only if it's a priority. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he has enough now where he is passable if the dice are fine.
And if nothing else, your cover fire.
Yeah, like he is not a fighting character. Yeah, it's not a priority necessarily for him. Like we've kind of established that Nicholas is pretty much only in fights to do one of three things: reduce die pools,
Mhm.
to take a shot when Roscoe inevitably goes down, and then if there happens to be a ghoul or some sort of human nearby, make him really sick. That's
Mhm.
literally what Nicholas does in a fight.
I have a mental image of Nicholas in a fight. Every time he shoots his gun, he's Cyril from Archer screaming, suppressing fire, and just emptying the magazine.
It's I imagine it's more like that thing where it's like you've got the one arm stretched out and the other arm covering your face, and you're just like, stay back, stay back.
At least you know which end the bullets come out of now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an improvement.
Okay.
I mean, I knew which end it was. The problem is half the time I was pointing it at myself, so it's like,
Oh my goodness. Logan Griffo asks, if your characters decided or were put to play in a Vampire the Masquerade game, what clan would they choose to troll or actually roleplay? So if
Okay, that's a meta of a meta.
it's a meta of a meta question. So if
That's so easy.
if our characters chose to play Vampire the Masquerade.
Now, that's funny you bring that up because one thing that came up in our DC Chronicle long ago was when Lance down there mentioned vampires over an unsecured phone and Primogen. And then the Tremere Chantry, their excuse to explain it away in case anybody was listening was the LARPers were out front LARPing vampire. So a vampire LARP, it does exist in the Shankyverse.
Yes, it does.
So that would suggest that maybe there's maybe not quite exactly the same as Vampire the Masquerade because the Kindred would not tolerate that, but I'm sure there's a vampire TTRPG out there somewhere in the Shankyverse. So maybe you will play it.
All right, if you got answers, answer.
I would go ahead.
No, go first. Go first.
How about Jenny goes first?
Okay.
I was gonna say I feel like Ginny would probably role play as one of the high clans. She would either do Ventru, but that's so on the money because she already has all that money. So she would probably do like Toreador. She'd just be like, I'm Toreador. This is just not sparkling enough in this room. You need more lights over there. And yeah. She would play like the super tropey Toreador that's just like, oh my God, Philip, look at this art. It's so gauche.
Valley Girl mixed with teeny bopper the Toreador. Oh God.
Who's an art critic?
Probably. I mean, it had to be she'd just be like, that's what Toreador are like, right?
Yeah.
Oh God, those pants with that top. It's horrible. Why? Oh God. Making my soul bleed.
Did they have a 50% off sale at the Salvation Army?
That's a great outfit. My grandsire can wear theirs in public now.
Oh my God, that'd be hilarious. I could so see Jenny playing a catty, bitchy fucking Toreador.
I mean, like I said, I feel like Venture would be the easy one. She'd just be like, it's all that money. But this, she's like, nah, she'd just be like, I've seen Isabella be a bitch. I can be a bitch in a roleplay game. So.
Oh my God. Okay, guys, go ahead.
No, you're going first.
Oh, okay. I would definitely troll play a Hikata.
Nothing but talking to spooky ghosts, huh?
That's right.
I could picture Roscoe doing pranks and then saying, no, that was the ghost.
That's
me.
right.
There's a ghost. I swear it was a ghost. He's right there. Right there.
Yeah, Nicholas would troll play Giovanni as fucking hillbillies.
Wow. Okay. So everybody's like troll playing, but Jackie would play seriously and she would actually play a ministry. Because what better way to know your enemies than to put yourself in their shoes?
That's like a deep one there.
Hmm.
Oh, but see, that's the problem is Nicholas would play it 100% serious because he only like he literally thinks that's all the Giovanni are sister fuckers.
But it's okay. We would make sure Cedric was the storyteller of it. You need to have a whole gaggle of people for him to drink because he'll use Mask of 1,000 Faces to change so that he matches whatever SPC you're dealing with.
That'd
So
be
that
awesome.
yeah, with Cedric, it's all a chess game and y'all getting played.
All right. So Eben Blade asks, what was everyone's favorite scene that they were not in?
I mean, I'm a storyteller. I'm in all of them.
So I would say for me, any of the interactions between Isabella and Jenny have always been real good. Yeah, I feel like there's that sort of, everything with like the Bahari, but then just generally like even like the little stuff, like towards the end where after Nicholas does, what he does, and Jenny's just kind of like takes her off to the side. Like I like all of the interactions throughout this season that the two of them have had.
And I'll agree with that because my favorite scene was between Ginny and Isabella when they were at Urzule's, and Isabella's, come on, just try a little bit, just a little bit, come on, try it. I mean, just not letting up at all, and Ginny's like, thank you, nope.
I concur that Jenny and Isabella scenes this season have knocked it out of the fucking park. They really have. It's definitely showing how that dynamic between their friendship is developing, and I love it. I love it. Actually, though, I will say my favorite scene that I was not in was legit Jenny. It was a solo Jenny scene, and it was with the shooting at her restaurant where she dove into the fucking van and just went amok. I fucking loved it. I was like, yes! You don't fuck with that bitch.
You definitely don't fuck with her property.
That's right.
Yeah, it sucks because I know it wasn't in season. I really liked like Roscoe's intermission scene a lot, just because of like the actual like levity there. But fuck, I'm trying to think of all the different scenes because it's always easy to be like, oh yeah, this scene happened in the last episode or something. It's so great, Was that this season with the ghosts in the graveyard and the dead bodies, or was that last season?
I think it was the very beginning of the season, I think.
I think it was
last season. With
It's
the
last
It was
ghost
last
bodies.
season. That was last season. Yeah, I can't remember. Sorry.
That was a great
hard.
scene, though.
That's where I'm like,
Took me
I'm
by
pretty
surprise. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Shit.
Look, we've done 9 seasons. It could be hard to remember what happened, what season. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I think so. Like, Jackie's like chess games with Cedric are always really good because she plays it like she's playing him, even though she knows she's getting played. So she's playing it like she's overconfident. It's the fake overconfidence to try and get Cedric to talk more.
Yep.
To be like, oh, you think you're so good. Let me knock you down a few pegs and then tell you why you're not so good. But like, I think those are always kind of like those are always really, really good.
Well, thank you.
So yeah, I mean, like, for pure like emotion stuff, I mean, like I know it hurt Timber Brad to have to give up Isabella, but like I think from an actual informational, like keeping the game as a whole going, the Cedric scenes are always really good. So
Thank you. I love those Cedric scenes. I do. And yes, you're absolutely right. Jackie goes in to play to his ego because she knows that Nos has an ego. And she strokes his ego because by doing that, he gives her information.
He knows what she's doing.
Of course he does. And she knows he knows.
He's using it because in his point of view, it's forging an alliance.
Exactly. And she's fine with that. But yeah, she plays the game with him because she knows he knows that they're playing a game and they enjoy it. So.
Why he always mentions the game.
Mm-hmm.
Look, he's playing 6D chess. She's playing 5D checkers. He thinks she's playing 4D chess, but he's actually playing 3D checkers. Like it's this whole thing going.
It is.
I love Cedric as a character because he's, as a storyteller, it's very useful to have a character that in character, he can give suggestions that you couldn't give otherwise.
Yeah.
About when you have
maneuvers.
Well, when you have a brain that runs like mine, which is an issue, convoluted as fuck. It's just the way I think. It helps to have a character that may not reveal everything that's going on, but can at least give the players some hints that in a logical way. Because it's very logical that Cedric would know that. He is the chess player.
Right.
Which is canon in the game.
He sees the big picture.
Right. In Chicago book, it talks about he plays chess every Sunday against Martin.
Mm-hmm.
And beats him. So I took that, and he's the chess player.
Mm-hmm. Devilish Darkness asks, what do you think has been your biggest success so far?
That's a tough one for people, isn't it?
Honestly, I feel like from the perspective of Jackie, the biggest success that she has had so far is being noble enough as a Ventrue to inspire the loyalty of her coterie. That is her biggest success. Because this is a diverse group of people. And she has not rubbed them the wrong way. So that is her biggest success.
I'm gonna make the guys go last. I think Ginny's biggest success was has been staying true to herself and getting what she wanted done. So like Phoenix but to a much bigger and wider thing, getting Amethyst opened, the hotel, because it's in an amazing location. It's in a spot that like everyone else would be like, oh, there's no fucking way, you're Gangrel. This is Ventrue territory. Like, get fucked. But she did it. Which was with the help of, the coterie and the Primogen and her attaching herself to the Bahari. So she knows she's done a lot of things to get to that point. But like she hates Chicago. She said she hates Chicago. She shits on Chicago because it's fun to shit on Chicago. But like she's also trying to get what she can out of Chicago and find those pieces that she needs for like continuing on in her unlife. Finding Tasha was a bit, it's in that whole vein of like her empire coming into Chicago. Tasha is a part of that. Even interacting with Bobby is a part of that. So there's all these, so like for her, her biggest success is continuing to grow her empire in a different location and in building it in different ways based on what is available there, what's acceptable there. So now the cat has both the guys' tongues. So,
Bane
is going to ask you, what would you think your best success was this season, Roscoe Akers?
Well, I had jumped in early on a number of questions. I was going to let Brad go.
That's Urian just being like, fuck your question. I don't know. I think it's kind of twofold for Nicholas. It's either getting revenge for his sister. Or yeah, no, maybe that's just it. Maybe it's not that hard. Because yeah, for him, it's just that's been like such a pivotal part of his background. You know what happened with his sister, and to finally get some sort of closure on that, even if it's going to end up biting him in the ass. Um, yeah, I would say that's probably the biggest.
For Roscoe, there were two. I'd say two of the greatest successes. One only because one was kind of in between, which was the trial of Roscoe, and then also the confrontation with the Anarchs, where he actually got to talk to them very very sternly, which is not his character at all. But he got to put his foot down.
I've got an answer for this one. My biggest successor every time I surprised the players with something. Because we've been doing this 9 seasons for some of the cast, 9, all of them have been here multiple seasons. And even the ones who have not been here all 9, they've been watching this for 9 seasons. So everyone's learned to expect the shanky twist as it's told and the curveballs. And when I manage to hit them with one that truly surprises them, I love those. It shows I've done something right. You know, Jackie getting a picture from Dredd on the Christmas episode.
That shocked the shit out of my character and me. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with this?
Right. Izzy detonating all the landmines. The look on Brad's face when I did that, he knew she just fucked everything up for all of them, actually. You know? Jenny, the drive-by that surprised you by Maxwell being the one to tell you about it. You didn't expect that kind of thing. Roscoe, me hitting you with loading that time coming out of Benway's shop, which you thought was just a Benway kind of thing. And then loading comes in. You know, you didn't expect that. That was not expected to see a healed Loden. No one expected to see the healed Loden showing. No, fuck it.
He's so pretty.
Yeah, Jack, you want to eat him. He looked like a snack.
He looks like a fucking meal.
So as storyteller that's run a long-standing chronicle with players, when you can surprise them and break their expectations in a way that is good story, but the players come out and go, okay, I didn't expect that shit. That's a success to me.
All right. TiVo says there are no happy endings in World of Darkness, but what would be a peaceful ever after for your characters?
Diablerie for all of you. You all get Diablerized. Peaceful ever after.
No, of course, serving Jackie as Warlock and when she takes Praxis. I mean,
if you survive.
Well, I mean, but after that, nothing bad will ever happen after that. So,
and then we prepare for war.
And that pesky null zone.
That pesky null zone too. I will say that honestly, Jackie's retirement plan is her peaceful ever after. She'll get to run a domain as she sees fit. And basically do it her way, which is something she has wanted since before she was embraced. She just wants to be able to do what the fuck she pleases. So that's her, not happily ever after, but at least, she gets what she wants.
I'm going to take a wild guess at Jenny's. Her happily ever after and, never, never land is getting the fuck out of Chicago.
Yeah, sort of. Yes and no. Like,
Vegas,
yes,
baby.
It's survive Chicago, go back to Vegas in the short term, but like she doesn't have that Gangle wanderlust yet. But she does want to do some more travel. She wants to see some more places. She wants to see how others do things in different places and see what she can kind of take and used for her own stuff, which is probably what everybody would say if they're like they've got a shitload of money or whatever. But like, she wants to go to Mexico City. She wants to visit, Prince Savona and see how Bobby's doing, just for shits and giggles. Like, she wants to visit Milwaukee and see what happens once it's not run by a jackass. Like, she wants to find her sire just for shits and giggles because she wants to have her sire, meet her grandchild. Like, there's all these things she wants to do, but like, surviving Chicago right now is the first step on that. So, oh, that was a spoiler. Sorry.
What's Nicholas?
I don't think Nicholas gets a happy ever after. I just think that he's pissed his sister off, which is what could possibly come back from that. I mean, other than just him and Matthew, finding some fucking remote somewhere to just, I don't know, live out. But yeah, I don't think that's a thing for Nicholas, just because he's made enough decisions that are going to come back and bite him in the ass. I don't think he gets one.
It's all right. Izzy will just be a specter later. Nothing bad will come from that.
The thing with that is, like, even if Izzy, comes back and, she wants to be volatile to Nicholas or Nicholas's interests, the issue is it's going to force Nicholas's hand to basically start walking the party line and use compel spirit on her. So yeah, I think that it's going to be, yeah, I think that
Everything he touches turns to ash.
yeah, I mean, it's just he's kind of walking down a path where I don't think there isn't a happy ever after for him.
Just
like, he could have his random ass dreams, but
just to point out, if Izzy becomes a specter, because you are still a touchstone of hers, she would be a doppelganger, which means you may not even recognize her as she does things to you. Because that's the point of the doppelgangers, is they look like anybody. Her vengeance could be very long lasting in ways you wouldn't realize.
But then there goes the avenue of self-destruction, though, because knowing that Nicholas has some sort of value to her, like, I wouldn't say that if he felt like it was to try and stop her or something, putting himself at increased risk or danger just to try to hamper her at
She
all.
wouldn't destroy you. She would just, the specter would inflict pain on her by making things difficult for you. It's just something to think about. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's just an angle. Nicholas does have a problem with shit turning to ash on him. It really does.
Yeah. Well, like 90% of that is player induced, but
Just because the player thinks that button says ass, that actually says ash, stop pushing it.
Well, I keep pushing it thinking it's going to solve my Tremere problems, but it doesn't.
Chicago's got a Tremere problem that no amount of putting a button is going to help, okay? Take it up with Dave. Just take it up with Dave.
There is no problem in Chicago that a tactical nuke wouldn't fix. I'm just saying.
Just talk to Dave. Take up your Tremere issues with Dave. I'm sure he can be very pleasant when it comes to conversation. He hasn't spoken yet, but I'm sure he can.
I'm going to go back. I think that's something I would love to look forward to is a random ass interaction between Nicholas and Dave.
So you want to die? Okay.
That's how Nicholas dies.
A note has been made.
A random ass interaction with you and the gargoyle Dave, and then he just tears your head completely off your body. Got it.
Well, no, because I mean, he's Hikata, so he's not like necessarily like on a gargoyle's like shit radar, but it's just I imagine at some point this fucking, you know, intimidating silent beast, you know, shows up around Roscoe one time when Nicholas happens to be there, and Nicholas is just gonna like I just imagine this face-off staring contest where it's just Nicholas and his
Blank stare versus blank stare.
Yeah. The predatory doesn't need to blink,
Yeah.
where versus Dave, his predatory doesn't need to blink, and it's just this.
I picture you saying something bad to him or saying something, because Nicholas says things sometimes it doesn't think through all the way, and Dave just deciding, well, you can regrow an arm. I'll take one of your arms and let you regrow that later.
I'm gonna rip your arm off and slap you with it.
He'll give it back when he's done.
All right. Ravnos Archon asks, with all the self-inflicted SPCs that have brought, quote, problems to the coterie, for example, Sam, Izzy, Emilio, etc., which one are you most afraid of dealing with?
Oh, after today, is he?
Yeah, I'm sorry you didn't realize that beforehand.
Always look a gift shanky horse in the mouth. Always.
I already plotted that shit out. I'm like, this is going to be a nightmare.
I'm a glutton for punishment.
You
so
are.
Whatever. But.
As far as raw power, yeah, Izzy. Because Izzy's a fucking spirit. And I've played Wraith. I know how stupid OP they are. So yeah, that for raw power, yeah. But for but honestly, I am really, really concerned with Emilio. Because he's just been embraced Toreador, and he was already obsessed with Isabella prior.
Did you caught in his letter?
Yeah.
That he admitted he actually loved her.
Yeah. I caught that. So that's going to be a gigantic fucking problem. Because now he's Toreador. With an obsessive sense of love.
I don't let players have pocket child that they can use as another asset, quite like a ghoul. By Emilio being embraced, now you have all the problems of a kindred.
Yeah.
Not a ghoul.
And a Toreador, no less. Which is one of the worst to have obsessively in love with someone. Only second to Nosferatu.
She's going to have to rebond his ass real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even the bond is no guarantee.
Right.
They will do
what they perceive is in your best interest. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ask Roscoe about that.
Yeah.
Well,
Ask Jackie about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's Berlin's. Everyone else?
Well, since you brought it up, Samantha is the one that I'm most afraid of, actually. I mean, she is slightly under control at the moment because of the bond, but she's always been incredibly impulsive and makes just terrible decisions. And because of the bond, her interpretation is what's best for me may not, in fact, be what's best for me at all, or the rest of the coterie. So, I mean, she's a very random element that could just blow up on all of us at any point.
You know, she's very powerful in helping you from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
But she's a stalker still, which means It's not going to be positive. Stalkers aren't always all bad things. You can get use out of stalkers sometimes. But
And Roscoe has so far.
right.
But that's going to come to an end.
Yeah. There's a price to be paid.
Mhm.
So it's supposed to be like the human-ishy NPCs, the SPCs, or is it just any SPC? Because I
Basically he asked the self-inflicted SPCs. So it could even be Jenny's sister. Because that's self-inflicted. That's ones we created for our characters.
I mean, from player knowledge, yeah, Isabella's or Izzy's the biggest worry because I can't do anything against Despair, and I'm just like, fuck, please, no, don't think of me, don't remember me, just don't believe I exist. I don't necessarily think I'm worried about the sister so much, mostly because I want to see how that goes, so I'm not trying to like scare myself out of it. Yeah, it's probably Izzy, honestly, just because, yeah, Wraiths are stupidly overpowered. If there was still a demon involved in some way, I'd be like the demon, because demons are fucking game breaking. So, yeah.
There's a reason the demon storyline ended and we went past that.
Oh, I'm well aware. And after playing demon, I never want to see another one, a fucking cross splat involving a demon again, because that shit is fucking dumb.
It's broken.
It is broken.
Mages are bad enough. Wraiths are bad enough. Demons just be like, LOLs. Hey guys, you want to have fun? Fuck you. So
I think what you meant to say is demon is awesome.
It is awesome, but it's also broken.
It's awesome when you're playing demon.
Yeah. Not when it's a cross splat in your other game, okay? All right.
Yeah, we know what Nicholas's worry is. We got that.
Okay, Logan Griffo asks, besides their ghouls, what type of person would be the perfect child for each character? Who would they want to pass on their legacy or pass on their goals?
That's an odd question because normally the first ones to be embraced is a ghoul because they're a ghoul for a reason. Most players, I don't think, have incompetent ghouls.
Yeah, but if it's not a ghoul, who would it be?
I know Roscoe won't embrace Michael. He's been passed around like a blunt too many times.
Mm-hmm. That's a broken-ass ghoul.
Yes, he's a Drucheski.
Yeah.
Makes him very broken.
No, he's not the Ducheski. Those were gone.
That's right. They did destroy them. That's right. But he was around them long enough. He's still broken.
Mm-hmm.
Michael's not right in the head.
Now he's just been passed around to so many dometers. Honestly, I mean, Jackie kind of did it already with her one child that she has, but if she were to embrace another, it would be a similar setup if it's not Etienne, of course. She has one of her contacts is basically the woman who is running her escort agency. And she is a brilliant woman. She's basically pursuing her doctorate while working, and also, I mean, just really fucking skilled all around. So Jackie would probably embrace her because she's also a friend to Jackie. She's really an excellent, manager for that escort agency. She's got a strong business sense. She's, supportive of her workers. She's a great leader. She would fit the bill for Jackie.
I don't think Nicholas would. I don't think he would even necessarily embrace Matthew. I think especially after some of the interactions he's had, what the condition has turned his life, or unlife rather, I guess, with Izzy into, but then also seeing like how so before Diablerie, seeing how cold um and yeah, I guess cold how seeing how his sire is. And then I think for Nicholas it's he might just not be yeah, I just don't think it's of interest to him, at least as of right now. Like he like background, he wouldn't embrace Matthew. He wouldn't want this for him. Um, and I don't know that he would necessarily want to pass it on. Now that being said, fucking for humanity, Nicholas, the world's his oyster. Who the fuck knows? We'll see. But yeah, 5 humanity, he wouldn't pass it on to anybody.
Or humanity's a bitch. Anyone else got one?
I didn't know if Roscoe had gone. I was gonna go last. So
No, well then I'll make it quick. No, Roscoe really wouldn't want to have a child. He, considering his origin, his choices when he was embraced, he has no interest in taking that forward to anyone else. Michael is his school, but he really kind of considers him. I'm just holding on to him until his
Till
true
Eleanor
honor.
comes back.
Until Eleanor comes
Mhm.
back, yeah. And Samantha is not even an option. I mean, no.
the type of person Genevieve is looking for, it's like a job interview of sorts. Like, this job posting requires these kinds of skills. She's looking for someone who is driven, who's motivated, who has goals and ambitions, but also has brought themselves up from a lower standing, as it were. Tasha is like her target ghoul in Chicago, or as like an embrace in Chicago, but like she has a charity in Vegas that helps do like grants for underprivileged girls so they can get into school and do stuff. It's it's not a mill for ghouls or a mill for embraces. It's her attempt to find those like jewels in the rough of people that meet those qualifications, what she's looking for potential ghouldom, and or placing them within her like empire in positions of power so that she can see if like they can make those businesses grow and do better. So she's looking for someone who's going to be able to do that kind of thing, because if she was going to embrace some random person, they have to be able to make it, they have to be able to help her do what's important to her. Because she would be probably more of keeping them on a leash for a while, unlike other gangrel embraces. But then she would want them to be able to like, she'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to send you to Chicago, for example, and you're going to have to grow the business there or do something like that. So like she would, that's how I treat it. It's yeah, it's more of a job opportunity instead of unlife or whatever.
That makes sense for Jenny, though.
Yeah, it fits.
Totally fits. All right. So next question we have, or Shanky, do you have a question for us before we?
No, keep going.
Okay. Okay, Logan Griffo asks, what discipline would your character be most interested in acquiring skills at this point? Let me look at my sheet.
She's got to connect to it. You're going to have to update. You're going to have to wait. So Mama's going to have to go.
I'm going to have to go
She's got to update.
last. So
I mean, so I think Genevieve has kind of got what she wants, points in as it were. If she was going to add any more to anything, she would probably work on her like she needs to work on her like fortitude a little bit, mostly for the since she's heard that like fire resistance is doable. But if not that, she would probably do like Potence. I believe I have like 1 point in. She would maybe put like a point or two, get a point or two in that. But yeah,
Because the bonus damage from prowess and potence actually will stack with your damage you're doing from her weapons.
can't.
It adds bonus dice.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it did or not, but it's just it's the usability of some of the stuff. But yeah,
Everyone should have soaring leap, not gonna lie.
Soaring
Multiple
Leap's
dots
pretty
worth,
cool.
because soaring leap, there's a lot of people don't think of some of the really good uses for it. You're hard to catch if you can jump fucking further than anyone else can run. Yeah, escaping is always a plan for a kindred. You always have to have a backup plan, a way to get out. Soaring leap's one of them. Soaring leap with uncanny grip is even better, because you can just hang from the ceiling and dare them to try to come up there and get you. Jump up, grab it with your hand. You're hanging. What are they going to do? Yep. Timberbrad's freezing up a little.
Yeah, he's given us.
Oh
that
no,
O
we lost
face.
Timberbrad, everybody. We will see him when he comes back. Now we got just an odd Roscoe there. Look at that.
Yep,
And
odd Roscoe. You've got odd Genevieve.
And yeah, cut in half. Let me I can fix that until he comes back.
I can answer. For Jackie, I'd like to get one more dot in Dominate. She needs Rationalize. She's already got Cloud Memory, Mesmerize, and Submerge Directive. She needs Rationalize. Fortitude's maxed out.
I fixed it.
Yeah, as far as while I'm playing her and discipline-wise, that's probably the only discipline growth I'm looking at for her while I'm playing her. Out of game, eventually she'll want to pursue her blood sorcery up to 3 dots, because there's also a dominate ability that's going to be very handy to her as she has more progeny, to be able to command them at any distance without eyesight. So, yeah, but she needs blood sorcery 3 for that.
I'll admit, I've been trying not to crutch this chronicle on my favorite discipline power, which is Obfuscate. So I've been using it as little as possible. But yeah.
You got any, Roscoe?
Well, he's got pretty much everything he really wanted to have. I mean, the fortitude from Jackie giving him toughness. He doesn't. I mean, unless he wants to continue on with going past Unsoilable Mind, I don't really see putting much more into that. He might want to put more into his attributes. I mean, so that he's less of an absolute incompetent at in the scraps that we get into.
I think Roscoe needs 1 dot in Oblivion for Oblivion Sight, or 1 dot in Proteum for Eyes of the Beast.
Those would be handy, but
because you are the one who's at a disadvantage in Total Darkness, and the one person who's got that disadvantage, it'd be better to have it. Oblivion Sight's useful for the spirits part, a little more than Eyes of the Beast.
But who would I get Oblivion from? I mean,
who would you get Eyes from the Eyes of the Beast from? Well, let's see, Jenny and Isabella.
Yeah.
Fine. Jenny doesn't ask for anything. She hasn't gotten anything from Isabella, because
Now, there's nothing Jackie would need from Roscoe at this point. But if he asked her for it, he'd owe her some other favor.
Nothing she needs. She can't fuck it. I don't need nothing from him.
Nah, I can get what I need from others. It's fine. I'm looking forward to Jackie getting a pet.
you shouldn't talk about Roscoe like that.
Not Roscoe.
No, that's already Evan. Or not Evan. It's already Emilio and Peter. She's got those pets.
Emilio's not one of Jack's.
Sorry, Etienne and Peter. My brain is not
Damn.
functioning. Hey, I've had a week. I've had a rough week. My brain is off today. Don't mind me. E-names fucking me up.
So I have no idea where my internet deciding to take a fucking whatever.
We didn't get
us-
an answer.
Yeah.
The question is,
Oh no, I got the question.
Yeah, we
I got
didn't
the
get an
question.
answer.
yeah.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure because I was starting to say it, and then
No,
my
it didn't
internet
pick you up.
decided to be a punk. So I said it definitely wouldn't be Thin Blood Alchemy. And then but I mean, I think at this point the only thing that really would be of any immediate interest is stuff I can't get because I already have 5 in Oblivion, and I would love to get some of the La Sombra stuff, which is apt because my fucking internet decided to fuck up. Yeah, anything that would just make Nicholas more effective at killing things that aren't human would be interesting or useful. But past that, I'm happy with what I have.
I'm surprised you're not looking for at least a little blood sorcery for wards.
I have wards. I can do wards.
You can do spirit ward, an actual full spirit ward, ones that hurt ghosts for daring to cross that line.
Yeah, I think I have that.
I don't think you had that because
I think that's an Oblivion ritual.
no, it's not. It's I thought the wards are only the official wards are the other ones. So
I thought I had one of them.
yep.
All right. We don't have any more viewer questions. So if Shanky's got questions.
I've got one. I'm going to ask it. It's a silly one, but I want to hear it anyway. Any regrets from? I mean, there's more, not just playing the game, but the amount of time commitment this ended up being. Because for those that don't know, when we pre-record, you're talking that's 2 days a week. The cast is given up normally. One for the stream, one for the recording. Now, Brad, of course, works normally on Sundays, so it kind of makes it hard for him to hang out in the stream. But any regrets on that or your character choice? Make it a little bit, deeper than just, stroking Shanky's ego. Any regrets on being in it, the time commitment, or your clan and character choice?
Same answer I gave earlier. Nope.
Yeah, that's going to be a no.
Yeah, I wish my schedule, I guess, allowed for me to be like doing streams more often or the stuff on Sundays. But I've never been opposed. Like if anyone ever had questions or comments or whatever, anything that they really wanted to share with me or ask me, could catch me on Discord. Shameless plug. I have no problem talking about shit over there. Yeah, past that, I have none. No. Yeah, no regrets. Sorry, a half asleep rant.
Roscoe, you still thinking? Because in the original, when we first started doing it, one of your things was La Sombra, one of your top 3. Still wondering how it could have been if you were on the other side of that coin and you were La Sombra instead of Tremere?
I've actually enjoyed playing Tremere. Not as a typical Tremere, but as one who has, issues with the way Tremere behave themselves or don't. But no, I don't have any regrets.
Yeah, y'all heard it from me. You almost had Yuri in the La Sombra.
He would just been like, arms of Amram.
Stygian Shroud choked you to death in the arms of Amram. Either way, you're good. Don't worry, you're fine.
Yep.
Yeah, like when I went into Session 0, my 3 clans were Toreador, Ventru, and Ministry. And I ended up going Ventru for a variety of reasons based on how the Session 0 played out. I have honestly really enjoyed playing Jackie as she is. She's true Ventrue, but not your typical fucking narcissistic, authoritarian type Ventrue that you often see in games or even as NPCs. She's a little different, and that has led to her success and her longevity because she's a little different. But yeah, no, I have no regrets playing what I play and how often, what we do and stuff. I know in the future we're planning on doing live games, but
Windy City will be the last.
That'll be a little bit better for me because sometimes it's really hard for me to want to sit in the Twitch chat after having a rough week.
Yeah,
so
the follow-on chronicle to Windy City will be all live. We will be the pre-recorded will be. This is the last of the pre-recorded
This is the last
shows.
chronicle that'll be pre-recorded.
Yeah, the time commitment and the tech level. We've read the tech level. We don't have to pre-record, and the time limit or the time commitment makes it harder for me to run other stuff at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So by freeing up time, there's a little bit more time for me, a little bit more time for Relin and I, and a little bit more time for more games.
Mm-hmm.
So real quick, going back, apparently I don't have Ward, which I thought I did, but I guess I don't.
So you need Blood Sorcery.
So that would be useful because mistakes have been made. But in terms of regrets, there is one regret. I thought about it. I regret not naming Bob Possum Billy T, so then he could have been Possum Billy T.
I would have killed your character. I know you'd say it's worth it, but I would have had to murder you.
Worth it.
Jenny?
Gangrel was not my first choice, but I do not regret playing Gangrel. It's been fun to play it kind of off the whole not being like, I don't know. I don't want to say like being like Werewolf Light. I know she's done kind of Werewolf Light lately, but it's not who she is. That's more of this like necessary thing due to the Chicago bullshit. Because yeah, if we weren't fighting like big bad shit, I wouldn't have been like, oh yeah, I need to go and get like the ability to scout with Al. Oh yeah, I need to get the ability to turn into a fucking bear. Like that's like a direct result to the threats against us. But I don't regret the time commitment. Yeah, I can get this. Sometimes it's like do the recording and then it's like, okay, and then I try to always be here in chat during the rewatch, but like I know if someone's not necessarily saying something to me, I'm not being like, oh fuck, that was so sick, did you because I've lived it already, and so it's hard for me to be like, yo, that was so MLG, like, oh fuck, like, wow, Roscoe, or there's another note for Timber Brad or whatever. So like, yeah, and even if the game was live, I wouldn't be interacting with the chat because I would not be watching. Like I'm watching chat right now, but like if this was a live actual RP session, I wouldn't have the chat window up. I wouldn't, because it's an extra distraction for me that I don't need. So, but I don't know. I don't think I have any necessary like regrets about my character at this point. So yeah, I mean, I wish I built her probably a little bit more kindred facing and having a better idea how to do that, but like it's always a learning experience, and I try to make all my characters different, and so this has been a learning experience in its own way. So yeah.
All right, Logan Griffo and Devilish Darkness kind of have questions that are tied together. Logan Griffo asks, if your character's next child turned out to be Kaitif or Thin Blood, well, it wouldn't be Thin Blood.
Can't.
We're all old enough, Jen, that our childer would not be Thin Blood. So if they turned out Kaitif, how would you treat them or raise them comparing to a genuine clan progeny? Okay, real simple answer. Jackie is Ventrue, and not only that, she's old school European Ventrue. A Kaitif is not a fucking Ventrue.
And it's easy to hide it for a while, but all it takes is one person
Mm-hmm.
to use a blood sorcery on it to get a sample of their blood, and
Yeah.
that lie comes tumbling
Yeah.
down
So
around
that's
you.
going to be a destroyed childer before presentation.
Yep. And Roscoe agrees.
Yeah.
God, could you imagine
What?
a Tremere give him? Tremere did do a Kaitif child.
Yeah.
Maldavis, the child of Abraham de Sabel,
Is a
and
Kaitif.
she ended up Kaitif. And you notice that she was pretty much disowned and disavowed by him.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
There's another one too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as stated before, I don't think Nicholas would ever get to the point where it would be an issue. But now that I've had the slurp and my generation has been lowered, it's even less likely now. So
Yeah.
Don't be creating 10th gen Kaitif. That's just, we can't allow that.
Ginny wouldn't care, honestly. If she's embracing him for reasons outside of being like Gangrel. But also Gangrel are pissed and shit on by a lot of domains and people anyway. So like, why would she do that to somebody that she felt was valid enough to do what she wanted them to do, as it were? So yeah, I mean that's more of the Gangrel answer, I feel like, but I don't think Ginny would really care. That's just her own thing. So
Okay, and Devilish Darkness asks, how would you react to seeing an elder being humbled by a Kaitif or a Thin Blood? Okay, first off, not likely to happen. The elder will mop the fucking floor with them. But
like they might get socially humbled,
right.
but then they would immediately pay for it.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Literally it would be a status loss in Jackie's eyes of that elder if that was allowed to happen in like Elysia.
And if a Thin Blood did it, well, Jesus Christ, that Jackie might murder the Thin Blood just on
Seriously.
GP, just to give even more status loss. I had to handle
I had
the
to
Thin
handle
Blood for you.
this, right? Because Thin Bloods are open season. Yeah. So, yeah. Jackie doesn't outwardly try to like go hunt down Kaitif and Thin Blood and stuff. I mean, hell, she even has a fucking Thin Blood working for her in DC. So it's not like she's necessarily against them, but they need to know their place in her eyes.
Gotta earn that reputation.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta earn that spot. Gotta eat somebody and not be a Thin Blood anymore, and then you have a chance. So, anyone else?
They're Kaitif and Thin Bloods are abominations. They shouldn't be allowed to exist.
Thin Bloods are not kindred.
Right.
Yep. There's you can tell Roscoe was brought up Tremere loyalist, even though his feelings have changed a bit, but you can tell by that right there.
You can tell
Mhm.
he's High Clan because High Clans are literally conditioned for that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and immediately, like, so people think that I promise this isn't a troll. This is literally what just happened. Urian said Kaitif are abominations, and immediately my brain heard Tremere abomination. And I'm sitting there as like it's just so ingrained in my head.
One track mind, Brad. One track mind.
Yeah. Give me a button and I'll press it. That's where the track goes.
hey, look, the Tremere wish they were spawning Kaitif because then they could bond them.
Tremere can't bond any other kindred.
No.
No, but I'm saying I thought Kaitif can bond.
But yeah, they would have a Kaitif can bond it.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm saying.
They were Kaitif.
I'm saying the Tremere are wishing they were Kaitif so they could just they could go back to blood bonding and get their pyramid back. And then they would just be like, oh yeah, we're Tremere.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when they capitalize on the blood walk and truth of Vitae and shit. And they're like, oh, sorry, we're the only ones that do that.
Yeah.
That's how Tremere started. God damn it.
Yeah, Goratrix, fucking bastard.
You know what? Too soon. Let's not talk about how the Tremere started.
Slubry got. Salute got. Yep.
All right. Well, that looks to be the end of the viewer questions.
Player questions? Any of y'all got questions? I did mine.
I really don't have any.
We've done so many of these. Most of the questions we've answered in previous seasons.
And I think one of the things that I really like about doing, this show with this cast is, and this is another one of those like shameless plugs for the Discord. Between like Zoom chats and Discord, like cast chats, like we always talk about like the stuff that we like that everyone's doing. And so like in real time. So for me, it's hard to look back on an entire season, especially because with like mental health stuff, my memory is fucked to begin with. So it's really hard for me to, unless it's like written down right in front of me, it's hard to remember anyway. But all of the questions or all of the things that I would say to anyone here, I've probably already said in a chat beforehand. So there's no questions I have because it's kind of like one of the benefits of getting to do this is everything's kind of on demand, get your answer.
I mean, the only question I would have tonight, anyways, would be to ask Red. It's like, well, just how much does Isabella miss being able to rub her hands on that Italian desk?
Her desk really upset her having to lose the desk. That really did.
That really upset her.
I was going to say, probably not as much as missing that final slurp on Amelia, but maybe it's a little too soon.
If she was here, she'd have her nose like them hard dagger eyes at you right now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. I wouldn't be making that joke if she were here because I don't want to get stared at like that.
So I guess since we're done the questions, let everybody know. As always, between seasons, we take a few breaks or a few weeks. We'll have there will be intermission content.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some intermission stuff to do. It's not vital to the main storyline, but it's gives you a little insight as to some of the stuff that these Kindred are doing that wouldn't be in a main episode. And of course, we have our season summaries. And I was going to do a Bloodied Fields, but looks like the cast for the Bloody Fields aren't available on a Sunday. So I'm going to do something very weird. We're going to take a Sunday off before next season starts. Be the second time since Windy City started that we didn't have a stream one Sunday, but it won't be next Sunday. Don't worry. We'll be back next Sunday. But we're going to get a Sunday off. People get a Sunday to relax a bit before we start up season 10. But season 10 will be starting. Let's see. 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. 4 weeks, we start back up. We'll be
1
back
week,
here
ha
for
ha. 2 weeks, ha ha.
Actually, I think it's
So
3 from now.
26th
No.
Let me look and see.
or the 19th.
Let's see. We here. 5th will be intermission. 12th will be season summary. 12th and 19th. Probably the 19th will be season summary. 12th will be a break. And then we're back to 26th.
Okay. So Windy City season 10, March 26th.
Day after my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be fun. So, and as always, as we leave this, let me go through all these. Join us on our Discord. My wife has already just posted the link to it. We've got a great community. We just did a Zoom Hangout last night. Zoom Hangout, the people who were in it got to see a preview of the Dark Ages trailer and to badmouth Shanky a bit and throw shade at me at my first version of it because apparently I sounded like muddled ass.
You did sound like muddled ass.
I thought it sounded cool.
You went extra and it just went bad.
Also, any chance to ever shade Shanky you should take.
Okay, Wicket down there. I mean, just saying.
Logan Griffo said season 10, Arisen for Passover. Fits.
Yeah. Of course, you want to catch our back episodes, pop over to YouTube. We got all the back episodes. We not only have the back episodes of Windy City, we got the season summaries, the intermissions. There's shit tons of back content. We got Werewolf. All your World of Darkness needs, most of them at least, Werewolf, Changeling, Wraith, Demon, Vampire. Eventually, there'll be a Promethean Chronicle or miniseries in there, Mummy the Curse in there, but we haven't got to those yet. Independent games, Bluebeard's Bride, Nighthawks, a bunch of stuff like that, Zasarkala. They're just
Monster Hearts.
Monster Hearts. Go to our YouTube. We got so much content. Dear God, we've put out so much stuff. And if you want to see
Thirsty Sword Lesbians.
Yep, Thirsty Swords Lesbians. If you want to see some D&D or Call of Cthulhu, pop over to Ishval's channel. That's run by our amazing Dr. Tiss, our British GM that run D&D for a while and now is doing Call of Cthulhu. So check those out. If you want to see some amazing content creators like the Ivy Raven here and Mischievous Red, who's not here for the Q&A, but Isabella will be here for the season 10. Don't worry. Check out those content creators. Ravnos Archon, who was in chat, gave us some questions. RPG Table, good old Junie. Everyone loves a little Junie around here once in a while. So pop over to those channels and give them a follow from the McStabbers here. If you want to get some Windy City merch, trust me, if you get these posters in our merch store, they're not as blurry as these particular ones. I put the wrong background image up for me, and I have the blurry ones instead of I have the ones that I bokeh the pictures instead of the good ones. Don't worry about it. You're not blind. It's just blurry posters.
Muddled posters like muddled ass.
You bite me. That's all I got to say. Bite me. If you want to give something to the players, bits and donations, they go to the players, not to the studio. Bits and donations are a way to show the players your appreciation for all the hard work that goes into this. If you want to give to the studio and buy Mama and I a coffee or something, you can subscribe here on Twitch. You can pop over to our coffee, or you can always, if you're watching this on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification icon, comments, all those kind of things push us up the search results so that, it helps. Every little bit helps because it's expensive. Even for the players, it gets expensive. There's costs for the players too. Roscoe's got to buy, or Urian's got to buy all those pimp shirts. They take money, Jenny's got to take all those lessons in shade. Got to get
Roscoe
that skill.
shirts are also shiny.
Brad needs all that coffee to stay awake because sleep sucks.
No. Sleep is awesome.
Not
Being
getting it?
awake I was going to say, yeah. I would still be asleep at this point.
Don't need sleep. It's okay. Sleep is for the weak.
Oh, I don't need that in my life again.
And see, I did all mine. Wow, I'm done my portion. My wife can give us the schedule, which is pretty light this week, actually.
Yeah. So, Demon's done. So there's nothing Tuesday. London Esoteric Society's on break. So there's nothing Saturday. And coming up on Sunday is Intermissions.
Which we still have to record.
Yes, we do.
So only one stream this coming week.
Yep. So see us next Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern for the Windy City After Dark Season 9 intermissions that will lead up into Season 10.
But if you feel you just can't do without some McStabbers during this week when we don't have many streams, that's what YouTube's for, or just chat with us on the Discord. We hang out there. We like to chat. Please do it. And I guess now that my wife did the schedule, I can do my portion, which is everybody. We always end a stream that Shanky or Mama McStabber runs with mental health awareness. Please, everybody, take your mental health seriously. Take the mental health of others seriously. Check in on those around you, friends, family, loved ones, acquaintances, hell, people that you just barely tolerate. Check in on them. Make sure they're okay. A lot of people aren't, and a lot of people are very good at putting up a mask to hide the fact that they're not okay. And a lifeline is all they need. And if you suffer from mental health issues like many of us do, myself included, right now in chat's a list of numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because let's be honest here, you would be reaching out to those around you if you felt you could already. But use those numbers if you can, especially if you're in crisis, please.
And I will tell folks in our Discord community, we do have numbers and the Find a Helpline link that I have just posted in Twitch chat, also pinned in our general channel, which is basically the entry channel for everybody. And then also the Find a Helpline link, which is international. It covers over 140 countries, is pinned also in our venting chamber, where people go to rant and rave and talk about things that are not necessarily appropriate just for general audiences. So
Potentially could be triggering for other people.
Yeah.
We just move it out of there, and that way the people who don't want to read venting don't have to.
But
Yep.
we do have the helplines pinned in general and the Find a Helpline website pinned in venting as well.
So please, everybody, mental health is health, and it's okay to not be okay. We firmly believe that here.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can let my wife do her portion as we exit the episode.
I'm a registered nurse. So is Timber Brad here. That's why Timber Brad's so exhausted. He works night shift. Get your goddamn shots. Take care of yourselves. If you're feeling ill, go get checked out. Seriously. Take care of the body, take care of the mind. It's a complete package, y'all. It's a complete package, and they all work together. So, and truly, fuck the fascists everywhere. I am here for Dark Brandon energy up in Kiev, because he literally caused Putin to not fucking bomb Kiev by being there. So yeah, fuck the GOP. They literally haven't done anything to help people. Ohio is a fucking disaster area, and literally their governor just sat on his fucking hands for the longest.
If the birds start falling out of the sky in your area, I think it's DeWine. Ohio, for deciding, we can just tell them burn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Burn the train cars that fell over. We're just
when your water quality goes to shit, your air quality goes to shit, blame Governor DeWine.
Yeah. Birds were falling dead out of the sky.
Yeah, in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fuck the GOP. And be a nice human. Not nice. Nice is performative. Kind is genuine. Be a kind human.
Be a good neighbor.
Yeah. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. You don't lose anything supporting other people around you. You actually gain. You gain a community by doing so.
Remember, just ask yourself, what would Mr. Rogers do? He was always a good neighbor. So
said with love.
Said with love. And I want to end it always, trans rights are human rights.
Yes, they are.
Please be aware of that. And
drag has been around since the dawn of entertainment.
Shakespeare's, all the plays were men in drag.
Even before then.
Yeah.
But yeah, seriously, it's not drag artists that are fucking harming children. It's people in the churches.
Yeah. Look, Monty Python wouldn't have been nearly as funny without their drag skits, because those are some of the funniest shit they pulled. So I do thank you all for coming, and we will see you next week. Enjoy a week with no streams, because Shanky needs a break.
Yeah, sometimes we need those, y'all.
Yeah. So,
love y'all.
Good night, everybody. As soon as I can find the mouse. There it is. I found it. Good night, people.